It finally happened. It was the first time that Apple Worldwide Developers Conference was held online and for free. Circumstances that have been shaking the world for the last few months had a lot of impact on tech industry. Companies are forced to do things differently. Apple as well. Truth to be told, Apple launched many new devices during the year, and something that could be at this event was announced earlier or might be announced later. Anyway, let's skip the chatter and go through everything that Apple announced in this year's WWDC, but most importantly, what that means to majority, everyday customers, after the intro. Hi guys, and welcome to Digital Marketing's channel. My name is Marco and this is your weekly fix of tech news, leaks, rumors and opinions. If you are fond of this type of content, please subscribe and don't forget to hit notification icon so you don't miss the next video. We all know that Apple is really focused on privacy, and this WWDC announcement was not any different. One of the latest privacy features allows you to have more control over the application tracking, where you will be notified with a prompt should you accept or refuse the tracking. The next one is more control over location sharing. Now, if you don't want to feel comfortable sharing the exact location, you will have the option to almost dump it down into more like approximate general location. What this means to you, it depends. You can select one of these two options or eventually switch it off and no one will know where you are. The last privacy thing is camera microphone indicator. It's the light dot above the network signal that goes at the moment some app is trying to access your mic or selfie camera. It simulates indicator from the MacBooks. You will be happy to know that finally you can change the default apps for web browsing and email. So you can use Firefox, Microsoft Edge, Opera. That also applies to any other email app as well, if that is what's important to you. Let's talk about iPhones and iPads and what we are getting with the upcoming iOS 14 or iPadOS 14 release. If we're honest, we have many reasons why we have chosen the iPhone. However, there is a huge portion of users that simply prefers its straightforward, easy to use interface. With that in mind, I will start with something that matters the most, and that's phone calls, and how incoming call notifications are now way less intrusive, no more full screen notification that makes your phone practically useless. This means if someone is calling you, you can still continue doing what you have done or eventually choose not to answer. The same applies to an iPad. Apple made sure to extend this to Siri, so now when you summon it, it will also keep your screen real estate available. Now we can talk about some of the customizations and perks that should make your life easier every day with iOS and iPadOS. Widgets were part of Apple operating system for a long time. On your iPhone or iPad, by default, they were accessible when you scroll all the way to the left through something known as Today View. Widgets are like small application previews that can show specific information or summary, like for example weather widget, without necessity to show the whole content. Not only you are getting useful information, but you're also getting something that is visually appealing. While some interesting changes were made in the original edition of iPadOS, like ability to show and scroll through widgets on the first page of your app menu, similarly to Windows Phone and Android, this time Apple extended this by allowing you to add widgets on your home screen or any other page. Now you can change the size and location throughout the screen if you like customization, or you're a fan of organized and nicely packed screen content. You can also group widgets into smart stacks that can interchange manually or automatically. The same way you can play with apps by using App Library, which is like organized and sorted list view of all the apps. The idea is to get to certain app quickly, easy, especially if you have many applications installed. Beside all of that, iPhone finally has picture-in-picture features. When you watch videos, simultaneously you can use your iPhone. In iMessage, you can now pin messages from important contacts like your family members or groups like business or school, so they're always accessible and visible above the rest. There is an option that only gets notifications if you are mentioned, otherwise you wouldn't be bothered by what's happening in the group. Apple also developed its own Translate app with offline translations. Not many supported languages at the moment, but soon there will be more. This makes sense when you travel abroad or you are communicating with people from foreign countries. Apple Maps now includes cycling direction, which includes paths through bike lanes, roads. So, if you are someone who loves cycling, Maps app will provide you with various routes as well as the information about possible elevations, etc. Finally, the app clip is kind of a virtual frame that lets you use some app features when necessary without previously installing the app. If you want to buy a coffee and you need particular app, you can scan QR code or use NFC tags to initiate the app clip that will detect and fire up any application that is necessary. Now the Macs and the most important news, and that's the big switch from Intel to Apple's own ARM in-house chip. Based on the experiences from Apple devices like iPhones and iPads Pro specifically, your Macs will be faster and use less energy. The next potential benefit could be even small price decrease, since Apple will be using their own silicon. Please take this with a grain of salt. What's even more important, if everything goes as Apple planned, you will be able to use all the apps on your Mac that are already accessible and functional on your iPhone or iPad without any issues, since it's technically the same architecture. After 20 years, macOS 10 retired and we are finally getting macOS 11, otherwise known as Big Sur. What we have seen so far, it's mainly all about visual improvements, change of icons, added sidebars, new widgets, control center similar to iPadOS, etc. Notification center will group messages and notification apps individually to give better, more clear experience. In general, there are some other updates, but most of it would not be of such huge importance for everyday users. I do have to mention the AirPods and the upcoming automatic switching feature. This really makes sense if you own multiple Apple devices, which allow automatic detection of the product that you're using. AirPods will be able to connect automatically to the device you're interacting with. No more wasting time for reconnecting or connection issues. AirPods will also get something called spatial audio, but that's limited to AirPods Pro only. Apple Watch also got some refinements, few new features, etc. Finally, you can use your iPhone to unlock your cars. So far, we have BMW Series 5 that fully supports this, but in close future, other car models will as well. I hope this information was clear and useful, especially to all of you out there who are not very tech savvy, but are curious about technology. This also applies to those that simply enjoy using Apple products and want to keep themselves updated. In any case, what was your favorite announcement of this year's WWDC, and were you disappointed there was no hardware? Please answer in the comments below. If you like this video, press the thumbs up, and once again, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching Digital Marking's channel. Talk to you soon. Have an excellent day. Bye.